Greetings, you bunch of and a warm welcome to Sent You a Message. I'm joined here by our himself.
Whoa, what are you doing? Oh, I get it. This is a bullet storm thing, isn't it?
No. Maybe. You. You're right. I mean, you're right. I'll try to keep it in check next time, Ishii.
Andy.
Yeah, Andy. Spacey Green Boy has travelled 8,000 light years from his home planet of Osilisk Runtox, Kadar 4, to ask us when Fez is coming to Xbox Live Arcade.
Well, nice to hear from you, Spacey. Please be sure to congratulate your corpulent queen on her recent hatching of 3 million larval slave drones. Sadly, developer Polytron Corporation has only managed to shuffle the previous launch date of its perspective-shifting platformer from 2010 to an equally vague 2011.
However, it is still slated as an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive and was demonstrated in playable form at the recent Penny Arcade Expo East in Boston. Polytron also revealed a new trailer that, oddly, shows very little of the incredibly clever tech that makes Fez such an intriguing prospect.
Yep, don't be fooled by its ostensibly simplistic visual style. Polytron has created a new technology called Trixels that, among other things, flatten 3D environments so they exist on a 2D plane. This allows hero of the game Gomez to navigate levels by rotating the area on its horizontal axis by using the gift of 3D that the titular headgear endows him with.
Polytron is deliberately and commendably saving most of Fez's surprises for when we all actually get our hands on it, whenever that is. According to those who attended PAX East, Polytron, which is actually only comprised of 3 members, did mention that the game is now complete and that it's just a matter of applying some polish before it's ready to wow Xbox owners the world over.
Man, it feels like we've been waiting forever for Brink to come out. When's it due?
Not till mid-May.
Well, RadioRad88 is claiming not to have seen any coverage on it, despite us talking about it about 4 times.
Well, there is still some new info coming out about the game, particularly some of its awe-inspiring multiplayer modes. Here's Paul Wedgwood from Splash Damage to give you some more info.
The big thing for us about the game is it's the first time, really, that we're aware of that you've been able to buy a game and play single player on your own with no internet connection, and then use that same character to play cooperatively with up to 7 friends, or go into full versus modes with up to 15 friends or strangers at any point while still advancing your same persistent character.
In another bit of news, Bethesda has announced digital pre-order bonuses for Brink in the UK that let you customise your player with items and outfits inspired by the likes of Spec Ops The Line, Doom and Fallout New Vegas. Also this one guy with a bag on his head. So keep an eye on BrinkTheGame.com in the upcoming weeks to find out how you can get your hands on these sweet limited edition outfits.
Right now, Mr. Gunalook is the controller and is asking if there are any games coming out for Kinect that will, quote, blow his tiny mind.
Well, depending on what kind of games you're into, Guna, there's a few things on the horizon that you may well enjoy, but actually blowing your mind sounds dangerous and, frankly, messy.
Yeah, this green screen was expensive.
Real background, don't break the illusion.
Yeah, right, sorry, real. Anyway, let's run through some stuff coming your way this year, shall we?
Okay, first up is Carnival Games. Now, if you're looking for more mini-games to play with your family, then Carnival Games looks to be your sort of thing, featuring a bunch of fairground-themed games like Dunk Tank, Alley Ball, Milk Bottle Throw, Wheel of Chance, and Cotton Eye Joe Dance-Offs with the Monkey Barker.
That sounds like code for something.
Mysterious. Other games announced so far include Batting Cage, Hot Air Balloon Race, and Rocket to Mars.
Whoa, what kind of carnival is this? Rocket to Mars? The main activity at our local fair was being sick in a dodgem while listening to Aswad.
Well, it's due out in spring, so you have to wait until then to see if that's included.
Fingers crossed.
Next up is Michael Jackson The Experience, a dance game that puts you in the sparkly shoes and 2 short trousers of Jacko himself to teach you how to dance like the late King of Pop.
Yes, and sing too, as the game also judges you on your singing and also features singing-only songs, meaning you'll need to be vocally limber as well as physically limber if you want to master the game.
Using similar technology to Ubisoft's fitness game Your Shape Fitness Evolved, Michael Jackson The Experience will use Kinect to isolate your image, place it on the game stage, and give you a troupe of backing dancers, which is guaranteed to make even our inept flailing look something approaching professional.
So, if you don't want to be starting something, why not take a look at the man in the mirror and ask yourself if you're bad enough to beat it? Speed Demon, that one with Macaulay Culkin rapping.
Okay, what else? How about Fantastic Pets? This is an augmented reality game that lets you play with one of 4 domestic animals, dog, cat, horse and lizard, who can then morph into fantasy versions of themselves like dragons and unicorns.
Right, which you then train through minigames and command via Kinect's voice recognition technology.
Okay, also Child of Eden. Now, we've talked about this before, but it definitely deserves another mention.
Yep, it's another shoot from Res creator Tetsuya Mizuguchi where you defend an advanced artificial intelligence from a powerful virus. As with Res, synesthesia is at the game's core, with enemies exploding into symphonies of light and sound as you blast away.
Yep, it looks beautiful and plays like nothing else. Definitely worth looking forward to.
We're running out of time now. Anything else to mention?
Okay, Rise of Nightmares, Haunt, Steel Battalion. Oh, and hopefully we'll see more on Star Wars Connect and Project Draco soon.
Lovely.
An unfortunate spelling error has left Jacob Forsyth with a gamer tag that implies he's in the habit of visiting dens and spreading malicious fox gossip rather than a mighty Volpine soldier. But he's too concerned about the possibility of a sequel to Prototype to worry about that.
Well, the good news is that Activision actually confirmed the existence of Prototype 2 at the end of last year. The bad news, it's not due until 2012. Sorry, that's a typo on the auto cue. Should be 2013.
The debut teaser appears to confirm that gaming's most unsympathetic anti-hero, Alex Mercer, is now occupying the far more suitable role of Big Baddie, while Sergeant James Heller, who we presume to be a former member of the Blackwatch Special Forces unit, is the new protagonist.
James looks to have volunteered to receive a dose of the Blacklight virus to give him the powers he needs to take Mercer down, and, if he's anything like his arch-nemesis, thousands of mutants and innocent bystanders who just happen to be in the way too.
Early signs point to a game that's not entirely dissimilar to the open-world destruction that characterised its fun but flawed predecessor, albeit with the predictable benefits of superior visuals and new abilities that probably involve disgusting spiky tentacles.
One power revealed by the latest teaser is to throw people really, really far in slow motion while Lady sings opera in a soothing soprano. We have concerns that this could affect the pacing of the game, but it's clearly early days yet.
I have concerns you're taking trailers a little too literally. Activision obviously has a lot of faith in Prototype 2 if it's ready to shout about it already, so we should expect plenty more details to emerge, possibly in the form of deadly black info tendrils shooting out of Bobby Kotick's torso.
VX Random ZZ is the kind of totally random guy who does things like spell the word with a V.
So random.
I know. Anyway, he's asking what's happening with Batman Arkham City.
Hang on, that's actually a pretty sensible question.
Yeah, I think I've gone off him a bit now.
Disappointing. Well, we had the good fortune of getting a demo of the game from Rocksteady's dapper gent-in-residence, Dax Ginn, who revealed plenty to be excited about for fans of billionaire vigilantes.
The section we saw was taken from the very beginning of the game, starting with Batman perched menacingly on the rooftops of Arkham City, the huge prison slum that serves as the setting for the game.
Yeah, it's clear from the outset that this is an open-world game. According to Dax, you can go wherever you want from the outset, and Batman's been given a selection of new moves to help you traverse the map, which is apparently 5 times larger than the one found in Batman Arkham Asylum.
The Caped Crusader can now glide for a much longer period of time thanks to the ability to dive steeply and then soar back upwards to gain height, and also has a new grappling hook move that launches him vertically upwards from rooftops. He can even grapple onto the underside of patrolling helicopters and cling to the runners to take a leisurely tour of the city, presumably before diving headfirst into some thugs' spines.
The Riddler trophies are back, but now to get them added to your map, you'll need to identify Riddler's henchmen, usually hiding out in large packs of thugs, defeat all his cronies, leaving him till last, and then interrogate the luckless puzzle fan to give up the details.
Interrogate?
Well, growl at and punch.
Yeah, right.
But combat has been beefed up too. You can now use your gadgets in combos, which Dax gleefully demonstrated by using the back claw to reel an enemy into kicking range and then booting him an estimated 8 miles into the distance. You can also now do double takedowns and smash through flimsy walls to take out hiding enemies in nightmare-inducing fashion. You also have larger enemies who block all your attacks who can only be taken down with a new beatdown move, where Bats loses all pretense of being a skillful martial artist and just wails on them for about 5 minutes.
Batman's other gadgets have been given boost too. The cryptographic sequencer has a much longer range now, allowing you to tune into radio frequencies across the city, to listen in on villainous conversations or just enjoy a bit of smooth jazz on Radio Gotham.
Nice.
And your detective mode has been tweaked, apparently because everyone just left it on all the time in Arkham Asylum, ignoring all the hard work Rocksteady had done on the level artwork and textures. It's still impossibly cool though. In the demo we saw Brucey use it to calculate the angle of a sniper's bullet fired by the Joker, then follow its trajectory back to a creepy bell tower.
Love that Joker. Speaking of villains, here's Dax to give you the rundown on who to expect to show up.
So what have we got so far? Joker, Harley Quinn, Two-Face, Calendar Man, Catwoman, Zaz, Hugo Strange, Riddler. I mean, how many more do you want?
Thanks, Dax. Arkham City releases on 21st October in Europe and 18th October in the US.
US.
Yes.
Squid94V, who has a 94-volt electrical octopod, has done well to even get a question into us, has asked us if we have any info on Hunted the Demon's Forge.
Now, Hunted is another game in the Bethesda Lineup O Wonder trademark that includes the aforementioned Brink, Rage and Elder Scrolls V, and it is a co-op fantasy action game akin to a Swords and Sorcery Army of Two, or as someone much better at this sort of thing than us more catchily put it, Gears of Warcraft.
Yeah, so the key principle to Hunted is co-op, not the sort of co-op where you play identical characters with identical skills and just play together simultaneously, but the kind of co-op where your characters have complementary skills that they need to use together effectively to succeed.
What, kind of like you and me?
No.
Oh. The two characters in question are the human Kadok and the elf Elara, and boy, they could not be more different. Imagine if for some reason they had to share a flat. Mental.
Yeah, Kadok is the kind of guy who responds to most situations by smashing stuff up with a sword, while Elara is devastating with ranged attacks from her bow. Both can use magic as well, either offensively or to buff your partner's skills in tricky situations.
While the story is a typical fantasy romp centering on Kadok and Elara's quest to find some missing townsfolk, the dialogue is very snappy and modern, with our heroes bickering, pointing out fantasy cliches in the environment, and generally being sarcastic at monsters who usually hate that sort of thing.
Right, it really annoys them. Developers In Exile are apparently huge fans of old-school exploration-based dungeon crawler RPGs, and as such, Hunted will feature tons of secrets, puzzles, and optional side quests to keep you entertained.
Anything else?
Lucy Lawless is in it.
Oh, sold! Hunted, The Demon's Forge is out on June the 1st in the US and June the 3rd in the
UK.
Right, sorry, must really stop doing that. Killsnipe863 is abusing his newfound fame after the shock win at the recent Generic Gamertag Awards by demanding we tell him more about the third Saints Row game and whether or not there are any new gangs in it. True to his tag, this is also an incredibly unoriginal question.
By that token, it's also an incredibly popular question and one that's been directed at us since the moment Saints Row 2 launched in 2008. Fortunately for us, THQ has finally confirmed that Volition is toiling over a hot workstation to bring Saints Row the Third to Xbox 360 towards the end of this year.
The big news is that it's the first in the series to take the action away from Stillwater and to a new city location called Steelport. The Third Street Saints are now a nationwide phenomenon with their fondness of spraying human waste on buildings and chainsawing innocent pedestrians, earning them fame and riches rather than a lifetime in solitary.
This puts them on the radar of the Syndicate, a global brotherhood of ne'er-do-wells who want the Saints to show some humility. Like subtlety, humility isn't listed in the Saints' big book of gang words, however, and so they decide to fight back.
Early word suggests that the Third is not only amplifying Saints Row 2's trademark crude insanity, but also pretty much everything else, from full weapon and car customization to upgradable character stats and COD-like perks such as airstrikes, predator drones, and even a gun that lets you turn any vehicle into a remote-controlled deathmobile.
As well as the Syndicate, the Saints will be dealing with the mask-wearing Luchadors, the smartly suited Morning Star, and the Deckers, a band of hackers who specialise in high-tech heists and money laundering. In addition, they'll have to contend with a special tactical anti-gang, or STAG unit, who've been recruited by the government to take down Saints and Syndicate members alike.
There's no footage yet, as we've just demonstrated, but we're expecting THQ to make a massive splash with Saints Row the Third at this year's E3, taking place in early June. And that's our answer gun spent for another show. As ever, your questions fill the power gauge for our Hyper Team answer combos, so either send them to the gamertag SentUAMessage,
email them to SentUAMessage@hotmail.com,
ponder why so many people who apparently loathe the show have liked us while posting on our Facebook page at facebook.com/SentUAMessage,
or prove that brevity is the soul of twits by tweeting us at SentUAMessage. We'll see you next time.
Wait, actually, do you mind if I close the show?
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Yes!
You are f***ing ridiculous.
Greetings, you bunch of cuckolds, and a warm fudging welcome to Sent You a Mother-Funning Message. I'm joined here by old Duck Tats himself.
Whoa, what are you doing? Oh, I get it. This is a Bulletstorm thing, isn't it?
No. Maybe. Fudge you.